Not to brag, but I've been bulking for most of my life. 17 years ago in October, I think I weighed like 7 pounds. Now I'm standing at almost 170. So how did this happen? Mostly natural growth. Alright, for real though. Last year I decided to start gaining weight, starting at around 150 pounds. I decided to keep bulking until 175, which hasn't happened yet, but I'm pretty close and there has been progress. And in this video, I'll explain how I did it, while not looking like that one Marshmallow Man guy. So I just want to explain what a bulk is quickly. And so everyone has a maintenance calorie level. It's just how many calories you burn during the day without doing anything. And so a bulk is just eating above that level. The faster you want to gain weight, the more fat you're going to have to gain with that. And if you're in no rush, you'll gain very little fat if you just take your time with it. For example, these two pictures were taken at the end of my bulk this year. Granted, this is with good lighting and after a cold shower, so that's not what I look like all the time, but you can see that even when bulking, you can maintain a pretty lean physique if you do the right things. I also have to mention that as long as you're bulking and going above your maintenance calorie level, you're gonna gain body fat. It's gonna happen, there's no way to avoid it, but you can limit that body fat by doing the right things. So the first thing you want to do is find your maintenance calories, how many calories your body burns in a day. And so go into Google, search up maintenance calorie calculator, input all the information, input how active you are, your height, I think your weight, and whatever other measurements, and it should spit out a number. This doesn't have to be like a perfect number. If you already know it, you can skip this. You're going to end up tweaking it anyway, depending on the results. And so after you have your number, experiment with it for a little while. Let's say you got 2,600 calories for maintenance. Increase 300 to 600 above that to start bulking. This way, you'll gain weight, hopefully muscle, or more muscle than fat. And depending on what results you get, you can either subtract some calories or add some calories if you're not gaining weight. Make sure to stick with it for a little while, like the number. Like it takes time to see what it truly does to your body. So if you get a number and you don't gain weight the next day, obviously you have to wait a little bit more time to see what it actually does. But yeah, if you don't see progress within, I would say, a week or so, maybe increase or decrease the number depending on what result you get. So I already told you to reach a certain caloric level, but I didn't tell you what foods you should be eating. And I'm not going to tell you exact foods. I'm not going to give you an exact routine because I think it can be different for everyone depending on what you like and what you don't like. But generally speaking, the less ingredients a food is made of, the better it will be for you. And obviously there's exceptions, not every food is like that, but a one ingredient food like, I don't know, a fruit or a vegetable will always be better than a 50 ingredient food like a cereal or a sugary bread or something. And so you don't want to gain weight by eating whatever you want whenever you want it, because then you're going to gain a lot of fat as well. And that's what we're trying to avoid, because you end up feeling sluggish, you don't want to do anything. And it's just a kind of a pain to cut down all the way back to where you were before. And so I would just recommend eat healthy foods, eat chicken, eat peanut butter, whatever, fruits, veggies, white rice if you want. I would just suggest try keeping your net carbs of the day below 150, because that's one, it's healthy. It's like almost a keto diet really. And it just keeps you full for longer, which isn't really technically the best on a bulk, but the long-term health benefits I think outweigh that. So if you can find a way to eat a lot of animal products, eat a lot of protein-rich plant foods, but just keep the rule that the less ingredients usually, the better. Another thing is to, if you can afford it, try to buy organic foods, like organic chicken. You can buy like free range. Try to do it for eggs as well. Obviously, if you can't afford it, that's one thing. Just an extra thing. If you can get it, buy organic. For fruits, that means they're not sprayed with pesticides. And for like eggs and meat, I think it just means it's something better. I forget. I'll probably link something in the description if I remember. And yeah, just know that change takes time. You're not going to see results the next day. You're not going to see the results probably the next week. But if you keep sticking to it, you're going to see results, and it's going to feel awesome. It's going to feel way better than eating whatever you want and getting that short dopamine burst and then crashing 20 minutes later. Okay, so this part kind of goes hand in hand with the bulk. Why would you bulk if you're not lifting and gaining muscle during that time? Then you're just gaining weight for no reason. While you bulk, your strength will go way, way up because you're gaining weight, and you're also going to gain a lot of muscle during this time. It's where you'll see the most progress in your overall size because you're gaining weight and you're also hitting the gym consistently, so your body has no choice but to grow the muscle and the strength. Another benefit of lifting is that you're always hungry after you lift, right? So it's easier to get a few 100 calories, even 1,000 calories after a nice lifting session. And it also provides you with motivation to keep bulking because you're seeing progress. You're not just gaining fat, if any. You're gaining muscle. You're gaining strength, which you can't really see unless you're in the gym, but there's another thing. So yeah, make sure to tip by liking the video. So I have some tips for making the bulk easier in case you don't like to eat a lot of food. So my first thing would be to get a hobby, get something you're interested in, get something preferably that can burn calories so that you'd be hungry after. For me, it's golf, and it's great because I get to walk around, making me hungry. And so after my round, I'm starving, I'm ready to eat 1,000 calories, and it's fun. My second thing is to space out your meals. I'm sure you might already do this, but spacing out your meals leaves you hungry for the next one. So if you eat breakfast at 8 and you eat lunch at 12:30, that leaves 4.5 hours for you to get hungry again, which would be different if you ate breakfast at 10 and you ate lunch at 12. Then it wouldn't really make sense and you wouldn't get very hungry. My next tip is to drink smoothies. They're a great way to get fiber, vitamins, calories. You could add protein powder, and they're easy to drink and they taste good, which you could add things like peanut butter, protein powder, yogurt to make them more calorie intense and more flavorful, and they aren't that expensive to make. Like, you just need some frozen fruit, milk or water. You could add peanut butter, as I said before, protein powder, and that's basically it. Just put them in a blender and you got yourself a smoothie in 5 minutes? The next thing is to try interesting foods. I never thought that I would like mushrooms or ever make mushrooms, but a few weeks ago I started eating them because I needed something to put in my eggs. And I know they're not very high in calories, but I enjoy them, and it's something I never would have found if it wasn't for the bulk. My fourth thing is just to track your calories. Without tracking, you're never going to actually know what you do. Now, after a while, after you've been tracking for years, yeah, you probably know what your body needs. Yeah, you probably don't need to track. But in the beginning, or in the middle, it's a good thing to do. Because you might think you're eating 4,000 calories, but you're actually eating 2,500, and that's why you're not gaining weight. And yeah, then you know what your macros are. You know if you're having a lot of sugar, you know if you're having a lot of carbs, you know if you're having a lot of protein or if you're not having enough protein, then you can know that too. It's just a really good thing to do overall during a bulk or a cut. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to conclude, but if you want to see the real benefits of calisthenics, click here. I hate those ads, but I kind of wanted to try it. Sorry.